Can I get the confirmation? And good morning, good afternoon rather, in Bangladesh. Mabruk. We have Ghalib. I just spoke with him a bit earlier. He's going to join in. So am I audible, people? Yeah, can you write back to me using your keyboard? You can talk to me. Yes, sir, I can hear you from Mabruk. Right. Thank you, Mabruk. How about Abira? Can you hear me, Abira?
Yeah.
Thank you, Abira, for the confirmation. I'm putting my camera down, not much needed. I'm going to share the screen. We have Ghalib already in. So brilliant. It's just 10:30ish and we have all our students in. It's a long class today going to be. Hello, Ghalib. Welcome to our classes. Hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, can you please write back to me. You can talk to me. We have Abira already. We have Mabruk as well from Bangladesh. Ghalib, you can hear me? Just having a text chat with you a bit earlier, yeah? Foundation in Accounting, MA2. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Got to write back to me using your keyboard. You can open your microphone and talk to me. We have covered part A and part B over the last days. And over the next days, including today, we need to cover this bit. Today is overheads and absorption costing, right? I believe I gave you videos from my YouTube channel. Did you watch that video, Abira? Yeah, last week I gave you the YouTube channel video. Did you had the opportunity to see it, watch it? Allocation, apportionment, and reapportionment? No. People are writing. He's writing back to me. Ghalib. Where's Ghalib? Okay, even if it is not, if you have watched the video, it would be better. Ghalib, you missed last week, but the video was like recorded. This lecture was recorded. So I believe you have watched the recordings, yeah? Okay, is my screen visible? Can you see my screen? You can talk to me, you can write to me. Can you see my screen? I'm scribbling over overheads and absorption costing. Okay, can I see some confirmation from Mabruk says, yes, sir. How about Abira and Ghalib? Can you see my screen? Can I get some confirmation? At least, yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Abira. Yeah, good. Yeah, brilliant. Ghalib got to be more participative, yeah, like other days, like every day. Okay, overheads. Number one, what is an overhead? Overhead is an, write it down, indirect cost. Overhead is an indirect cost. Absorption are different bases of absorption. We will see. Absorption means getting cost per unit, absorbing cost per unit. There are different methods: labor hour method, machine hour method, and unit basis there. We'll see. But before that, overheads. Again, overheads are indirect costs, whether indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expenses. Indirect expenses, many examples could be, but can I get 2 examples of indirect labor, quick and faster? In your production warehouse or in your business, you have 3-storied business, you know, the ground floor, first floor, and second floor. We gave example of ground floor is a production department, first floor is a sales and admin department, and second floor is a finance and accounts department. Yeah. So who is indirect labor production? If I say indirect production labor, indirect labor, in labor happens in the production department, yeah. These two happens the wages, these two happen salary means sales staff, admin staff, accountant, directors. But laborer, they works in a production department, right? So what is an example of indirect labor in a production department? Of course, to whom you do not pay direct wages. They do not work directly to produce the good. They help in production. Who are they? What is an example of indirect labor? Come on, faster. Wages paid to the, I'm writing to you in your chatting option. Isn't it? Supervisor? Manager of production department, yeah, their salary or wages is an indirect labor. What can be indirect expenses? All expenses are indirect. So all expenses like rent, rates, electricity, insurance, these are indirect expenses. Then what is a direct? You know, the pen I'm writing, the pen, huh? So materials in it, direct material, you can see the people who produced it, direct labor. And there could be little bit direct expenses. You know, the nib of the pen. Let me appear on the camera a little bit, if I can show you my pen. Again, the light is behind me. So you see the pen, yeah? So this nib is kind of indirect. Yeah, the glue inside is indirect expenses. Yeah, indirect material, my bad. Indirect glue, indirect material, little bit nib, indirect. Screw, nut and bolts in a table, in a computer, those are indirect material. Yeah, direct material is this. The entire black material is direct material. Now, what is a direct labor? The guy who fixed it, the person who made it, huh? The guy who made it and who paid salary. They're direct. And indirect, those people that didn't directly produce it, indirect labor or a supervisor who supervised it, a manager. Yeah. Sound reflecting from other people. I got to mute you guys. You guys are mute anyway. Okay, so these are the examples. Moving ahead. Now, moving ahead is one company categorize overheads as production overhead. You know, in this ground floor, all the costs are production overhead, production related indirect cost, like changing the color of my pen, rent of this production house, electricity, then insurance, whatever cost happening in production is a production related indirect cost. How about admin? The first floor cost. How about selling? Again, the first floor cost. Distribution, first floor cost. Accounts and finance, second floor cost, isn't it? But those are indirect costs, the indirect expenses. Absorption is a system where at first you allocate the cost, you apportion any jointly occurred cost. Jointly occurred. Then you get cost per unit, CPU cost per unit. What do you mean by jointly occurred cost? You know that three-storied building we've drawn. The total rent is per month, let's assume to £6,000 PM per month, £6,000. 6,000. So this 6,000 is for first floor, second floor, and ground floor, isn't it? For production, for selling, for finance, isn't it? Yes, that is called jointly occurred cost. So you have to split the cost. You have to split the cost between or among the departments based on a suitable basis. What is the suitable basis you think? Floor area occupied, isn't it? How many square feet they occupied? How many square feet first floor occupied? How many square second floor occupied? Maybe equally. Let's assume 1,000 square feet each floor. So 3,000 square feet. So you divide and multiply. Right. Absorption costing, although we usually use for we'll come back to these things. And based on your inventory, just for the timing, you write it down. We will prove it. Inventory makes your profit different. Inventory, closing inventory means closing inventory. Closing inventory affects your profit, guys. How? Can you give me the pro forma of cost of sales? Let me appear on the camera a little bit. Yeah, you know what cost of sales? Your inventory is there, isn't it? You start with opening inventory plus purchase less closing inventory. We're talking about this closing inventory, huh? Do you agree that closing inventory affects your profit because it affects your cost? Higher the closing inventory, higher going to be your gross profit. What my mind, like keep my words, then we'll prove it. Lower the closing inventory, lower the gross profit. So different category of absorption costing method, overhead absorptions are there that makes your inventory differently valued, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. So that affects your profit. For the time being, you're going to go to this allocation, apportionment, and absorption. This is, you can make notes later on or now. Absorption costing is a method determining product cost. Yeah, cost per unit, I said. Product cost. all production overheads incurred, making the product like product cost, full cost. Can you write absorption costing equals to full cost? Full cost. Like variable VC plus FC, variable plus fixed equals to full cost or total cost. So absorption cost is equal to full cost. And how do you get it? At first, you allocate some cost to the cost center. You apportion some cost between the cost centers. Then equals to you get cost into the cost per unit. Absorption is getting the cost per cost unit. People, allocation. Allocation is such a cost which without any doubt you can directly allocate to a particular department. Let's assume, all of you have studied in different colleges. Yeah, many different colleges. In a college, there is a English department. There is a maths department. There's accounting department, teaching. Yeah, these are teaching department. Right? If I tell you, like, I work for accounting department, Mr. Elias. Miss Abira is our teacher now. She works in a maths department, maths, and Mr. Ghalib works in English department. It's very obvious, like they were working in a particular department. If I say salary for Mr. Elias is £5,000, it goes to accounts. Yeah, you can clearly allocate this money, no doubt, isn't it? Accounting department. Miss Abira working for maths, so Miss Abira is also getting £5,000 and Ghalib is also getting £5,000. So Miss Abira working in maths and Mr. Ghalib working in English. We could easily allocate. But the same question, if I say rent of that, it has different departments, locations, isn't it? Different rooms, huh? Rent of these 3 rooms is £800. Who will bear that cost? You need to jointly break it down. Yeah, that is called apportionment. Yeah, that is called overhead apportionment. Sharing out common cost. What are the types of the common cost? Let me tell you. Rent and rates and heating and lighting and repair and depreciation of the building. All these are jointly occurred. There's a basis. What basis? These three rooms, this room is a little smaller English department, maybe 300 square feet. This is 500 square feet. And this is 400 square feet. Total 5, 9, 10, 1200, yeah, isn't it? Yeah, mental maths, we accountant trust our calculator more than mental maths. 1200. Total 1200 square feet. So 800 divided by 1200 square feet times by 300. If you do, you're going to get how much to be portioned for English department. If you times by 500, how much for maths, and likewise for accounting, isn't it? This is called floor area basis. So if you have this cost, you divide by floor area and multiply to your cost center. Okay, with that, we'll do some work. Insurance of depreciation or insurance of building is floor area, but insurance of equipment, you take cost or net book value of the equipment, the value of the equipment. Huh? What do you mean by that? Insurance, like you have equipment in different departments. Equipment means photocopier, photocopier, and you have could be equipment. This is part kind of asset though, but equipment, photocopier. So in maths department, English department, science department, or accounting department, insurance is based on the value of the machine. Maybe this machine valued £3,000, another machine valued £2,000. So this is going to be the ratio, 3:2 ratio would be there. Heating and lighting separately, look at this. Volume of space occupied or kilowatt basis often, especially electricity we do. Heating and lighting, floor area, mostly floor area. If volume, kilowatt given, we do on a kilowatt basis, like spreading out, differentiating the cost. So can we go over this example quickly, everyone, huh? Basis of apportionment. Bravo, DJ Bravo. Have you ever heard the name of DJ Bravo? Was a brilliant cricketer for West Indies. Yeah? Champion they were, West Indies. Yeah, Bangladesh, Pakistan, cricket playing nation. Yeah. So company incurred the following costs. Look at this: depreciation of factory, repair of the factory, insurance of equipment, heating and lighting. They give you floor area. So depreciation of factory should be based on floor area. Then volume. Volume is for heating, you know. Heating we use like cubic meter, we call it m cubic meter. This is a square meter. Floor area is a square meter. Volume is cubic meter. Then insurance of equipment is basically net book value. We divide it. So I come back to the question, like you have department A, department B. This is production department. You can have service department X and service department Y. Even I can give it name. Service departments are mostly store, could be maintenance, or could be canteen. ये सब service department है भाई, ठीक है? Because all of you understand Urdu. Mabruk was born and brought up in Saudi Arabia. He understands Urdu as well. Hindi, Urdu and Hindi. Little bit that may help you. Achha, so service department. The production department A and B, maybe one is assembly department, one is finishing department, one is cutting department. These are mostly production department. Molding department, where you produce goods. Achha, bhai, theek hai. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4 department you have. For 4 department, the entire depreciation, this is a factory, by the way, 1,000 pound depreciation. And you use floor area. How much is your total floor area given? Floor area for A, 1,200 square meter, they said. 1,600 square meter, 800 and 400 square meter. Total cost is 1,000. All you need to do is add up this, don't you, to get what is total square feet or square meter. Can you tell me how much is the total square meter? Can you calculate on your calculator? How much is the total square meter? 1,200 for A, 1,600 for B, 800 for C, and 400 for X, Y, sorry. 4,000 square meter. Do you agree with me? Total, how many square meter? 4,000 square meter. What is the cost of this total 4,000 square meter? For depreciation, 1,000 pound, $1,000. 1,000 divided by 4,000, you get per square meter, don't you? 1,000 is the cost divided by 4,000, you get per square meter, which is 0.25. If I ask you how much should be charged for B, how much should be charged for B? What is your answer? Tell me the answer. How much should be charged for B? Hope you're doing, yeah? I got it 400. Do you agree with me? I got that 400. Can you talk to me? Can you write back to me? How did I do it? I did it on calculator. Depreciation per square meter is 0.25 pence or cents. Yeah. And your production center B occupies 1,600 square meter. So 1,600 times by 0.25. Here we go on my calculator. So 400. This is my 400. Look at this. You got to do the calculation. I'm going to ask you next one. Be ready. Ready with your calculator and give me answer in 2 minutes. Yeah, I'll give you 2 minutes. Don't worry. How much is for A? They said 300. Out of 1,000, 300 for A, to 400 for B, for X 200, for Y 100. How did they do it? Here we go. Oh, they done it here. Total square meter is 4,000. So you do this calculation, the one I done at the top. 1,000 divided by 4,000 equals to, you get 0.25. If you multiply by 1,200, you're gonna get A. Multiply by 1,600, you're gonna get for B. multiply by 800, you're gonna get for X, multiply by 400, you're gonna get for Y. Can I ask you how much is for service cost for the depreciation for the service Y? Service Y. Okay, and the answer is 100. How do you know? It's given here 100. How do you know? 1,000 divided by 4,000 times by 400 square meter. 400 they occupy is here. Can you see my screen? I am highlighting. So that's how you apportioned factory depreciation. Now it's factory repair. Again, floor area. Again, floor area. Factory repair. So you just need to take the cost. I'm erasing everything. This is a recorded video. You can rewatch it. Yeah? How much is the total repair of the factory? The repair and maintenance of the whole building? 600. So again, 600 divided by 4,000 square meter. You get per square meter, don't you? Yeah? 600 divided by 4,000 square meter. Per square meter is 15 pence or 15 cents. How much for A? How much you're gonna charge for A? Times by 1,200. A occupies 1,200 times by 1,200 equals to times by 1,200. 180. So by on the shoulder of A, 180 maintenance cost should be charged out of 600. How much for X you should charge? Tell me how much for X. Quick and faster. People are writing. Mabruk is writing. Now I'm asking everybody, Mabruk, Galib, and Abira, how much for service center X you gonna charge the factory repair cost? Service center X. Quickly write. Service center X. The factory repair cost. Total is 600. You have apportioned 180 to A. B something, and now I asked X. X occupies 800 square meter, isn't it? It got to be a little faster, people. Yeah, not just one people answering. Abira 400. Good, at least you tried something. Yeah. Okay, Abira, unmute and talk to me. Abira is a little confused. Says, "Oh, maybe sir." Emoji. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Abira. I'm
I
muting.
multiplied 800 into 0.5. So is it
800 was for yeah, 0.15. Yeah.
yeah,
0.
0.5. Okay.
No, no,
I
15.
did it with 0.5. Okay.
Nah, do it 15. 800 concept is there. Yeah, 800 occupied by X. That's correct. Times by 0.15 because 0.15 is the per square meter.
120.
120. This is your answer. Can you see I ticked it? 120. 120. So like from 600 to 180 for A, 240 for B, 120 for X, and 600 for, I'm sorry, 60 for Y. How is 0.15? How do we know? It's 600 divided by 4,000 equals to 0.15. ठीक है जी? This is how you get. And then you have insurance of equipment, 200 pounds. Follow me very carefully. I erase all the items in between. Equipment insurance, the apportionment basis is net book value. Net book value. Net book value, basically, this is your net book value. 30,000, 20,000, 10,000, and 20,000 again. You can take this ratio, 3, 2, 1, 2. Total is basically 3:2. We call it is 2 in United Kingdom. We call it 3:2 to 1 to 2. Oh my gosh, what did I write? 3:1. I should have written. This represents 3 portion. This 2 portion. This 1 portion. This 2 portion. Total, how many portions is there? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 portions are there. Or you can do percentage, but this is called ratio. हम लोगों ने क्या निकाला? इसका एक ratio किया है. You can even do 30 to 20 to 10 to 20. Huh? So बस 0 0 काट दो तो 3 to 1 2 ratio. तो कितना हो गया? 8 हिस्सों में 3 हिस्सा किसके पास है भाई? A के पास है. Out of the 8 portion, 2 portion belongs to B. The value of the asset. Value of the asset. So You know, if you think even non-accounting way, who holds most of the assets? A, hmm, A has most of the equipment, isn't he? So A's depreciation should be more. Total depreciation is 200. Can I highlight for you? Not debris, my bad. Insurance we're talking about. Insurance of the equipment is total is 200 pound. Total is 200. Circling for you. This 200, some of the insurance should be bared by A, some by B, and X and Y. How much? On this ratio, okay? On this ratio. So all you need to do is follow me on the screen. It is most of it here and I rewrite. The video is recorded. You can rewatch. Yeah. We said 200 for A, B, X, Y divided by 8. Why divided by 8? Because it was 8 portion, huh? 3, 2, 1, and 2 equals to 8 portion. Divide by 8. If I multiply by 3, I'm going to get for A. Multiply by 2, I'm going to get for B. Multiply by 1, I'm going to get for X. Multiply by 2, I'm going to get for Y. Huh? Insurance figure. Insurance. So doing on my calculator. भाई 200 पाउंड my insurance है और डॉलर. तो फिर 8 हिस्सों में मैंने डिवाइड कर दिया. 3 हिस्सा जाते हैं डिपार्टमेंट ए में. 3 इक्विपमेंट या $30,000 का इक्विपमेंट, इसको 3 हिस्सा बोल रहे हैं हम लोग. Times by 3. So 75 belongs to A. 75 of the insurance money you should give on the shoulder to A. That is your 75 at the bottom. Can you see it? And likewise 50, 25, and 50 makes sense. If you do the next, it will give you the same answer. I do B for you. Again, 200 is my total insurance divided by 8. Insurance per hissa per portion is 25 times by 2 portion belongs to B. 50. That's my 50. Hanji. That is that. Moving on to the heating and lighting. Now, heating is volume. Heating is volume, and the volume is given cubic meter, and lighting is floor area. Heating. In the United Kingdom, we need heating. In Bangladesh, Pakistan, there is very little heating concept. Now these days are very much sardi, winter in December, January. So people sometimes buy heating. So heating is based on cubic meter. Floor area is also a valid one, but if there is no floor area, cubic meter is given, you use heating. So by the heating cost is 390 pound, right? $1. And how you gonna divide it? Some portion belongs to A, B, C, and D. Cubic meter. How much is your total cubic meter? Who calculates it faster? Do it. I do, you do. ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ मैं ही करता रहूं आप लोग कुछ नहीं करें यानी. It's your exam, no? We're halfway through. 3,000 cubic meter is there. I'm adding all the cubic meter. 6,000 B, and 2,400 cubic meter is there, and 1,600 cubic meter is there. 13,000 total. Volume is 13,000. तो ये खर्चा कितना आया 390. 390 divided by 13,000 if you do, you're going to get per cubic meter. Can you not? Yeah. So 390 divided by 13,000, 0.03, like 3 pence or cents we call it, 0.03, 3 cents per cubic meter. If I ask you how much is the cost for X, then what is your answer? Faster. How much is the cost for X? I can tell you X occupies 2,400 cubic meter. Galib, give me answer quickly. I give you 30 seconds. 30 seconds started already. What is the cost for X? Cost per cubic meter is 0.03. And 30 seconds already gone. Other people can do, but Galib should give me the answer first. Cost per cubic meter is 0.03 cents. And in the X, you occupy 2,400 cubic meter. What should be the excess cost for heating? हीटिंग इसमें ऑक्यूपाई किया, हीटिंग हीटर यूज किया, तो उस जब क्या कहते हैं डिपार्टमेंट एक्स में कितना खर्चा आएगा. Abira, you calculate back end. Mabruk, you calculate. And Ghalib, your time is going. 30 seconds gone. Now other people give me the answer.
72.
Did you see 72? Mabruk says 72 should be fine then. Then can we answer it? Ghalib, can I hear you? Are you there, Ghalib? Yeah. Ghalib is a very big poet, was a very big poet maybe. Yeah, Ghalib is writing. The Ghalib zinda hai. Hey. Ghalib is alive. Ghalib says, yes, sir. Alive, sir. Good. Where is your calculation? সায়েন্সের স্টুডেন্ট হয়ে ক্যালকুলেশন এত পিছনে কেন? এগুলা কি হইতেছে বলো আমাকে। এই যে আমি যে বলতেছি যে ভাই হিটিং বাবদ তোমার 390 টাকা খরচ হয়েছে, হ্যাঁ 390 টাকা খরচ হয়েছে, এন্ড টোটাল 13,000 কিউবিক মিটার হিটার দিছো। এখন এই ডিপার্টমেন্ট এক্স যদি 2400 স্কোয়ার মিটার কিউবিক মিটার হয়, ওই বেটার কত খরচ হবে? এগুলো কি গুণ ভাগ তো খুব সহজ জিনিস না, একটু পার্টিসিপেটিভ থাকতে হবে ভাইয়া, ঠিক আছে? পার্টিসিপেটিভ থাকবে। সো Abira didn't understand anything of that. We're going to translate in Urdu or English, yeah? So my cost 390 divided by 13,000. Cost per cubic meter is 30 cents or 3 cents. Department X occupies 2,400. So yeah, it is 72. That's correct. And that's what you have written it. If you know 72, I know you can do A, B, and C. So I'm not doing it. These are done at the bottom somewhere. These are must have been done. Oh, we are doing it now. Acha, now again I gonna go to Galib again. Now I'm moving to lighting cost. भाई ये जो lighting वगैरह हम लोगों ने किया है, बिजली जलाते हो कि नहीं, पंखा वंखा लेके बैठे हो कि नहीं, एसी वगैरह चलाते कि नहीं? हाँ जी, बड़े चलाते हैं। तो बड़ा ही सस्ता, I don't know how come it's just £100. A small business maybe $100. It's all right, yeah, $100 is feasible, yeah. $100 means Bangladeshi taka কত টাকা people? 12,000 taka, and in Pakistani rupees, Habira, how much Pakistani rupees? 20,000 rupees, probably more than that. Yeah, $100, yeah, a month or that particular period. $100 you're gonna get. People are writing something. Look, say something. 8,000. Okay, in Bengali, Ghalib has written going to home on the street. Okay, Ghalib. Okay, go home faster and join in properly. Right. So the next question to you guys, yeah, Abira and Mabruk, or even early welcome. So if the total cost is £100 and it is based on floor area occupied, which you've done the floor area already, it's 4,000 square meter. So what is the cost for department B? What is the cost for department B? You're going to use 1,600. Cost for department B, faster. Lighting cost for department B. So you must be doing 100 divided by 4,000 was the total square meter, wasn't he? Got this. I'm getting some answer, 0.25. Vera says 40. What about Mabruk? Times by department, what did I ask? Did I ask A or B? Maybe B. Times by 1,600. Yeah, it's brilliant. B is 40. Abira and Mabruk, well done. Yeah, thank you. That's correct. That's correct. Now, that's how you get the apportionment done, Haji. Apportionment. So this is management accounting apportionment. I wrap it up now. Total factory depreciation by ye cost tha £1,000, $1,000 for A, this much, B, this much, X, and this much, Y, this much. Likewise, all the cost. So for department A, total cost overhead. These are overhead. I repeat, these are apportioned overhead by एक है allocated overhead जिन्हें आपने पता है कि भाई ये A में ही जाना है, so you allocate it without any doubt. But here is a jointly occurred cost. So this is overhead, 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 overhead. Yes, department B is occurring more overhead, isn't it? Right. Now another question, another quick question. I should have given it to you, but I'll go over a little faster, or could be even homework. I'll go a little faster. You must do it at homework. If I read through Baldwin Company preparing its production overhead budgets, cost center expenses, related information, देखो क्या क्या है. पहली तो बात है machine shop A, machine shop B, assembly. All these are production oriented department. ये जो तीन है ना, machine A, machine B, even they will tell you at the bottom which are production, which are non-production. Canteen is a service and maintenance is a service-oriented department, service. ये कुछ नहीं production करते, ये भाई थोड़ा help करते हैं, खाना खिलाते हैं, maintain करते हैं, they don't produce. Okay, you have some indirect wages, straight away allocated. machine में कितना खर्चा हुआ wages इतना the assembly इतना. So this is called allocation. Allocation, you have no doubt this is fully done, allocated. Consumable materials also allocated. But rent, mere bhai, rent is not allocated. Rent is jointly occurred for all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 departments. Insurance jointly occurred. Power, heating and lighting, depreciation, these are jointly occurred. So they will give you some basis like this. Ye jo hai na basis, like this. So you need to use the basis, divide and multiply to get the cost per department. Rent and rates, floor area, building insurance, floor area, power and lighting is heating is cubic meter, like 3. Heating is cubic meter, lighting is floor area, depreciation of the machinery, value of machinery or net book value of machinery, like this. And power, if it is machine hours, depending which power they're talking about. If it's lighting power, then floor area, otherwise cubic meter. We'll see what is given to us. Look at this. Value of machinery given straight away. Why we need it? We need to allocate this 40,200 depreciation. 40,200 depreciation based on this ratio, 201, 179, 22,000, 22. As soon as I get it, can I do it? Can you add these figures on your calculator? कि भाई ये जो ratio है क्या है ratio? 201 is my machine A, then 179 is the value of my machine B, and 22 is the value of my machine C. Total ratio is 4. Was that 402? Yes, 402. So I repeat, I did 201 is 2 means 2. 179 22 equals to 402. तो भाई ये जो खर्चा है 40,200 divided by 402 multiply by 201 or 179 or 222, I mean 22, you're going to get a depreciation charge for each department. That is one. Number 2, they said power usage. 55% A, 40% B, and 3% assembly, and 2% maintenance. So life is very easy here. If your total power cost, mere bhai, agar 8,600 hai, if I ask you what is the maintenance power cost, 2% of 8,600, isn't it? Can I do it? 8,600 times by 2%. It's 172. Can I see it? Highlighting for you. Power, maintenance, 172 we just calculated. Kaise? Just 2%. And 3% and 40% and 55%. That was the most easiest, wasn't it? Because it's straight away given, no ratio you need to do. How about direct labor? Direct labor is allocated. You don't have to be bothered about it. No, this is indirect labor allocated. Direct labor hours. Now, labor hour, do you need to use it? I don't see. You don't need to use the labor hour. No, not needed. So should not be bothered about it. Machine hours, not needed either. These two may be needed for absorption at the end. So don't bother about it. Yeah, square meter needed. Q by square meter Q needed for your rent, for your building insurance, for your heating and lighting even. Haji. Can I ask you, all of you, can you give me the rent portion? Rent and rates portion. The total rent and rates 16,700 for A, B, assembly, canteen, and maintenance. If I ask you what is the rent for assembly, what is your answer going to be? I gave you 1 minute for that. I repeat, rent for assembly. What is your answer? And my clock is at the top. 1 minute started right now. Rent for assembly. You calculate, you write back me to the answer. 1 minute given. I do on my calculator. Yeah. I got the answer. As a fraction looks like. Is it? Yeah. If you got the answer, write me. I got my answer on the calculator. Rent for assembly. How much rent for assembly? The 59 seconds. I stopping it now. Not found it yet? Come on. Huh? Come on, people. What was my question? Question was, how much rent for assembly? How much is your total rent on the calculator? 16,700? 16,700. People are writing. Thank you. Let me see. Good, Abira. Well done. That's correct answer, Abira. That's correct answer, Mabruk. Well done. You must have done this then. 16,700. You divided by what? Total square meter is given. You don't need to do the total now. 45,000. I divided by 45,000 then, huh? 16,700 divided by 40. Divided by 45,000 times by what? I asked for assembly, so I times by 15,000 times by 15,000. I got a 16,700 divided by 45,000 times by 15,000 square meter occupied by assembly department. 5567 is the right answer. 5567. Round it up. 67. Okay, Mabruk. 67. Why? Because 666 makes it 67. Can we see that? 67. Yes, well done. That's correct. Super. Good job. Testing your knowledge on little bit on heating and lighting. We're doing it together, by the way. It comes together. Rent and rates. So heating and lighting is also floor area. Heating and lighting is also floor area. So if I ask you, what is the heating and lighting cost for machine shop A? Heating and lighting total cost is 3,400. What is for machine shop A? Not this, of course, machine shop A. What should be your answer? Shouldn't it be heating and lighting 3,400? I do, you do. You send me the answer faster if you get it. Divided by square meter, square feet was 45,000 times by 10,000 for A. Yes, 5756. Is it somewhere? Yes, it is 756, right? Heating and lighting for A, 756. Do you agree? Aji, बातें करना है थोड़ा थोड़ा. Abira, make sense करता है? समझ में आ रहा है? Thank you. Mabruk, does it make sense? Yeah? Ghalib, everybody? If it is, we move ahead. So by kya hua? Look at this. You know, indirect wages. Did you need to apportion it? No, we just fully allocate. By copy karo और paste करो ऊपर से लेके आओ भाई. थोड़ा small करते and थोड़ा इसको erase करते. जी. So changing the color of my pen to some dazzling color, orange. This copied here. This copied, pasted there. This. Why this is? Because this is allocated. You don't need to apportion it here. Basis of apportionment is actual. The other one is also actual. Then rent and rates, floor area. Insurance, floor area. Power, usage, the percentage. Heating and lighting, floor area. Depreciation, net book value, the asset. Right? अच्छा, ये करने के बाद you get your total overhead this and overhead for A 44,000 something, 45,000, 26,000, 33 at overhead. Yeah, all the workings are given. You can check at your own time later on. Anji, all the workings are given. Now this is called apportionment. अच्छा भाई अभी एक concept है कि service center money should go to the production center in a basis. Percentage could be, ratio should be. The service center money should be 0. I repeat, ये जो service center में money है, ये कितना है? यहाँ पे 33,250, यहाँ पे 16,000 something. This money should go to your production center. Service center money should be 0. This is called reapportionment. This is called stage 2 reapportionment of service cost center. क्योंकि you don't produce any goods in the service department, do you? You don't. Canteen, maintenance, stores, they support to production. That's why those money gonna come to the production department. So if it is stores, we have some basis here, number of requisition. What do you mean by that? ये जो है ना भाई store department, store room में क्या करते हो आप store करते हो items 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, item 5, item 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the items are there. And requisition का मतलब क्या है? I need 5 items, 3 items. That is one requisition. Another requisition 2. I need items. I need items. Every time you ask for the materials from the storeroom, that is called requisition. So department A can give some requisition to the store room. B can give some requisition. Assembly can give some requisition. Even ये जो लोग बैठे हुए हैं, like department A, B, people are working there. They eat in canteen. तो A में अगर 10 बंदे हैं खाना खाते हैं, B में 6 बंदे खाना खाते हैं, C में 20 बंदे हैं, I mean assembly में. So the more you eat, the more it costs you. The more you do the requisition, the more it should cost you. That is the idea. Maintenance में क्या होता है भाई? Hours of maintenance work done in each department. Maintenance मतलब कि आपका department का maintenance. So the more you use the maintenance, the more it should cost you. Production planning, they told you, that is based on labor hours worked in each production cost center. Right? Right. The canteen is number of people are eating. They didn't give you, but that is that. Look at this now. Now, direct method of reapportionment. Reapportionment. You have production center, P and Q, service center, store and maintenance. We said this money should be 0 and going here, and this money should be 0 going here. How? We'll take break in soon. Yeah, in 10 minutes time, we'll have a 10 minutes break here. Come back. Now we are doing deep, difficult things. So you need to put more attention, more tawajjuh, concentration. বাংলাতে কি বলে এটাকে? Concentration. More, no, more ধ্যান খেয়াল দিতে হবে. Production cost center P requisitioned materials to the value 12,000. Cost center Q requisitioned 8,000. So, okay, of materials. The maintenance cost center provided 500 hours for P. Maintenance जो है, 500 hours for P and 750 hours for Q. So of course, of this money, we can divide by, can we do 500 plus 750 total? 1250, no? 1250. Divided by 1250 times by 500, you're going to get for P, times by 750, you're going to get for Q, the cost you divide. But maintenance, it ratio to 12 to 8 of this store maintenance, sorry, not maintenance, requisition, material requisition. Yeah. It should be 12 to 8. I'll show you 1 minute at the bottom. Have a look here. How much is the cost for cost center? You see, started with stores. Stores requisition. 12 to 8 is the ratio. Total 20. I can ignore the 30, I'm telling you. We still get the same answer, huh? Still get the same answer. Kaise? You can ignore this 30, you still get the same answer. Have a look here. What is the total cost of my store center? Highlighting for you. 2,000 pound भाई. कितना है cost कितना है? Store में cost हुआ है 2,000. तो ये 2,000 जाना है P and Q में. तो कितना जाएगा P में कितना Q में? How much you should charge into the P? How much you should charge into the Q? On the basis of 12 to 8 ratio. I repeat, 12 to 8 ratio, which is 20. Yeah. So 2,000 divided by 20 times by 12. If you do, you're going to get 4P. And times by 8, you're going to get for Q. Can I do it on calculator? भाई कितना खर्चा हुआ है स्टोर में? 2,000. तो 20 हिस्सों में आप divide करोगे. Divide by 20 times by 12 portion belongs to 12 times, or 12 belongs to out of 20 P. So 1,200. This is your 1,200 people. You follow their work, you follow my work, no problem. You learn both. 1200 of this 1200 belongs to P and 800 belongs to Q. ये अपना स्टोर्स हो गया. तो अभी मेंटेनेंस में कितना है भाई पैसा? 2500, 2500. Some should go to P, some should go to Q. How? You divide by 1250, shouldn't Q? क्योंकि 500 and 750 makes it 1250, no? Can I double check? 700 plus 5. 750 plus 500, 1250. ঘুরে পেঁচে একই হইল আর কি, হ্যাঁ? তো কি হইল? 2500 you divided by 1250. For P, you needed 500 hours times by 500 if you do. £1,000 for P, 1,500 for Q. Haji? Yeah. So your money, previously allocated money was already there. For production department P, it is 8,000 plus from service department, you got 2,200. Total cost gone up for P. And Q, it was 5,000 apportioned cost, allocated and apportioned cost. Total overhead पहले से ही था P and Q के लिए. अभी ये stores को zero कर दिया, पैसा P and Q में डाला है. And maintenance को zero कर दिया, पैसा P and Q में डाला है. कितना कितना डाला है? This much. 2,200 here, 2,300 in the Q. They're going up like this. So this is called apportionment. We have one more step, then we're going to go for break. These are given here. You can make notes. While I'm doing it, hope you have gone through. And later on, of course, you need to do as a homework or your practice. Another question. It's just a practice for you. Step down, I'd like to go. So this question would be your homework. Can you please write it down? थोड़ा practice घर तो करना है ना? Lesson जब खत्म हो जाएगा, then you do some practice home. Indirect wages given, you copy paste. Material given, you copy paste. Rent and rates need to split. Insurance, these all needs to be split, isn't it? On a suitable basis, bases are given. Power, this basis, labor or material don't need to be bothered. Area, oh, this is what we just done है. ये अभी हम लोगों ने तो किया है. उसके बाद रीअपोर्शन करना होगा. रीअपोर्शन क्या चीज है भाई? ये जो मेंटेनेंस और कैंटीन का पैसा है, this becomes zero. I see even assembly. They're saying assembly is also service-oriented business. Can you go over here? This using the basis you consider the most appropriate, calculate the overhead to be on the production center, machine A and machine B. Oh, and assembly. Yeah. So ये देखो भाई ये zero हो गया, canteen and maintenance zero हो गया, पैसा ये तीनों में आ गया. So these all three are production department. Assembly is always production department. Finishing, assembly, cutting, these are production department. These are maintenance department. So we have done it at the top, but this is be your homework, how you put in it here on a suitable basis. The base is even given here for canteen and maintenance. Maybe the people they're eating there or money or any other suitable basis. Yeah, homework basis mein kar le. I would like to show you step down method of apportionment. This is called re-apportionment. This is called फिर से appointment, apportionment, re-apportionment, re-apportionment, 2 दफा re-apportionment. हाँ जी, step down re-apportionment. इसका मतलब ये है, you know, sometimes your service department centers enjoy or take the benefit of another service department. मतलब कि ये देखिए, production cost, this. Value of material requisition. तो क्या किया है? प्रोडक्शन 1 ने कुछ मटेरियल लिया है स्टोर से, 2 ने भी लिया है कितने का? 50,000 का, 30,000 का. भाई मेंटेनेंस भी लिया है कुछ. हाँ, तो इन one service department taking benefits or services from another department, service, not production department. तो पहले जो है ना, we're gonna make this money split into production and maintenance department. It will become 0. Then it will become slightly higher. Then this money we're going to put into the production department 1 and 2. हम लोगों का मकसद ये है कि सर्विस डिपार्टमेंट में कोई पैसा नहीं रहेगा, इसको production department में जाना होगा. We need to put the money into the production department. But because वन ऑफ माय सर्विस डिपार्टमेंट मेंटेनेंस जो है वो थोड़ा सारा रिक्विजिशन ले रहा है, मटेरियल ले रहा है स्टोर से। तो पहले मेंटेनेंस जो है 8,000 उससे थोड़ा बढ़ जाएगा, एंड because of stores. Then that entire maintenance money you're going to put into the what do you call it, production department, to department. अभी हम लोग ब्रेक लेंगे, ब्रेक के बाद जो है ना आके ये चीज डिस्कस करेंगे, री-रिपोर्शनमेंट। हाँ जी, we will take a break now. After the break we're going to come back and we're going to talk about re-reapportionment, which is step down. Is that okay, everybody? Can we take a break now? Can I say some yes no very good answers or talkie? It's a break time. See you at give you 15 minutes break, huh? 11:45 UK time. In my computer it's 11:30 now, 11:45. So okay, sir, from Mabruk. How about Abira? Is the break okay for the time now? Ghalib as well? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Enjoy your break. See you in 15 minutes time. Okay, guys, we're back after the break. Who's there? If you're there, you can say hi to me. Yeah, putting my camera down. Yes, blackish. Brooke is there. So yes, where the other students are going to share the screen. Even there, Radib says yes. Hope you reached home. So it's 45 already. Right. And we are on to our reapportionment. You know, on Google, if you write allocation, apportionment, and reapportionment, this video, 21 minute, I would say. Normally my videos are smaller, but this is one of the biggest, longest video. You just need it. I gave you this one last week, did I not? Yeah. I gave you last week this video from YouTube. Yeah. All this apportionment, allocation, apportionment, reapportionment, reapportionment, all these are done. Basis of apportionment. I'm giving again. Please do watch at your own time. It's a very helpful, handy. Yeah. Is Abira, you there? We're back after the break. Yeah. It's a must watch. Would have helped you already. Moving on. Moving on to this bit, reapportionment, reading this example, eliminating this, erasing these things, and reading. Can you hear me? Yeah. Am I audible? You can see my screen. Can I get that confirmation and move on? Oh, it's gotten confirmation from Abira. That she's there. If you can hear me, can you write back to me? Can you see my screen? Can you write back to me? Yeah. So we move ahead. You can talk to me as well. Yes, sorry, Elias, I can hear you. Where is our confirmation?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. That gives a confirmation that you are actively listening and working as well. Huh? You're not just there. Yes, from Abira. Yes, sir, can hear you from Abrok. Moving on. A company has two production cost center and two service cost center, stores and maintenance. The following information activities recent costing period. Production cost center overhead given. Total overhead, Hanji, 10,000, 30, and this and this and that for all the four departments. Now, value of material requisition and maintenance hours used given. Value of material requisition like 30, 50, and 20. This material cost center will be divided based on that. 30. Oh, it's 10,000 means 30%, 50%, and 20% going to be. You know, even if you take this 30, I'm doing the requisition for production 1, 2, and maintenance 30, 50, and 30, 50, and 20. Yeah. So isn't it basically 30%, 50%, 20%, or 30%, 50%, 20%, isn't it? Yeah. So all you need to do is 10,000 divided by 100 times by, if you do 30, you're going to get for production 1 times by 50 production 2 and times by 20 maintenance cost. Yeah, shall I show you? It's straight away easy because it's a percentages. 10,000 divided by 100 times by 30, you're going to get 3,000, which is this circled for you. Okay, G. Likewise, the other items. So what is happening? The first thing I'm showing you. First thing, you copy paste the overhead from the question. You bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. The next item is I need to make my store cost 10,000 zero, zero minus, and put of that in a percentage way, this 30, 50, 20 to this, that, and that department. Hanji? Right. So isn't it your maintenance gone up? It used to be 8,000 before, now 2,000, total 10,000. This 10,000 should be given to production departments. How? Even they told us. Maintenance hours used, 8,000, 1,000, and 1,000 there. basically 80 and 10%. 811. Huh? Ratio is 811 equals to 10. Isn't it basically 80%, 10% and 10%? Yeah. Or you can divide by this, no problem. So my total cost here, my total cost of maintenance was 10,000. Taking my calculator on screen. It's going to be 8/9 though. Why? Because stores is vanished, so store shouldn't be there. One correction. 8/9 are going to be 9 portions. You are giving this 10,000 between these two centers. Centers. How? 8:1 equals to 9. So all you need to do is 10,000 pound or dollar divided by 9 times by 8 if you do. This 8889 going to be into production 1 and rest gonna be into production 2. So reapportionment is basically at first you apportion one of the service cost centers to other service cost center along with the production, like ये जो 10,000 है भाई इसका 3,000 to 1, 5,000 to 2 and 2,000 to maintenance. So maintenance gone up from 8 to 10,000. Then this 10,000 should be apportioned production 1 and production 2 on the basis of 8:1 ratio. How do you know it's 8:1 ratio? Here it is said, highlighting for you. Maintenance hours use 8,000 hours, 1,000 and 1,000. Because stores, we have finished all the money utilizing production 1 and 2. So it should be 8:1 ratio. So 10,000 जो है भाई 8:1 रेशियो में बढ़ जाएगा, डिवाइड हो जाएगा कि production 1 and 2 में. Then finally you're gonna get a figure. Production total 1 में कितना खर्चा हुआ है 21,919 and production 2 में 15,081. That is my total cost. Do you know the next bit basically? It is said even maintenance costs are not apportioned to the store's cost center because the store's costs have already been apportioned. It is done. But if the first apportionment had been maintenance cost center, then the overheads 8,000 would have been apportioned. थोड़ा vice versa दिखाया इन लोगों ने. अगर आपने ये करना होता, if you had to apportion maintenance, then maintenance could have been 0 here and there. ये जो 8,000 it could have been here and there. Dono, you can work both way, whatever the question asks you. But the next further questions, or generally, if I go back to this question here, my total cost production 1 is 21,000 something and production 2 is 15,000 something. You can get it cost per unit. If you divide it by labor hour or machine hour, cost per labor hour or cost per machine hour. This is called overhead absorption rate, then leading to cost per unit. Yeah, how many hours needed to produce per unit. So another quick question we'll go over, then cost per unit we're going to check out. Let's see this question. Elm company has 2 service cost center, 2 production cost center. Overhead costs are allocated as follows. Production 1, 2, 3, 4. These costs are straight away allocated. Nothing to do the apportionment. The service 1 cost center is expected to work a total 40,000 hours. A service 1 में कितना घंटा काम करेंगे? Total 40 घंटा. And for the other cost centers divided as follows. ये 40 घंटे में out of 40,000 hours in production 1 they're working 20,000 service people. Production 2 they're working 15,000 and production service 2 they're working 5,000. So isn't it you divided by 40,000 times by any of this, you're gonna get their money should be charged. 9,385 में कितना पैसा आप 1 में charge करोगे, कितना 2 में, कितना service 2 में. You just divide by and multiply. Yeah, that is being done here. Service 1 becomes 0 and bit money goes here, bit money goes here, and bit money service little bit money goes into service 2. Yeah, it should go. Let me show you. 9,384 divided by 40,000 is per unit times by, if I do 20,000, 4692. Where is my 4692? It looks like, can I see the requirement? Although the apportionment base is given, service 2 cost center is expected to work, ye jo hai service 2, 12,000, and it should be, oh, okay, right, yeah. Service 2, we need to put into production 1, 2, and service 1 first. So service 1 will gonna go up first, huh? Then service 2. So have a look here. The finance director requirement, you have to answer based on the requirement, whatever is the basis given. Reapportion the costs of the 2 service cost center using the direct method apportionment. Direct method. Direct method में क्या आता है? No reapportionment. This money gonna go here, and this money gonna go there. Yeah, no reapportionment. Straight direct method. We're gonna take into this into those centers. So 20 to 15 and 3 to 8. Like, we are not doing reapportionment, just apportionment, this one, because that's being highlighting for you. Requirement. Finance asks you to reapportion the cost using the direct method of apportionment. Direct method का मतलब क्या है भाई? पूरा service cost center जो है, give it to direct to the production cost center. Directly charge into the production cost center. Do not charge into the service cost center. So life is even easier. What you do is 9384 should go to production 1 and 2. So divide, which is basically, if production 1 and 2 is this, so total is 35,000. So 35, the ratio should be 20 to 15. So if I do divided by 35 times by 20, if I do 9384 divided by 35 times by 20. That's for production 1. 5362 is the answer. 5362 is the answer. Can you see it here at the bottom? 5362. It's not really a portion, it's just normal one. And remaining money gonna go to this one. 5362. What do you mean by remaining money? 5362 minus remaining is 4022. But you can do the fraction of the remaining as well. How do you do? 9384 divided by 35 times by 15. Come on, 9384 divided by 35 times by 15, we said, isn't it? Can you see it's 4022-ish? Yeah, 71 means 222. That is this. So this becomes 0, yeah? Service 1 becomes 0. How about service 2? Similarly, we just straight put in the production department, no reapportionment, it's direct method. So directly goes. What base is this basis? 3 to 8 equals to 11. This divided by 11 times by 3, it's gonna go production 1 times by 8, it's gonna go production 2. Can we do that? 15, 8, 2, 3 divided by 11 times by 3 with an A, 4315. Can you see this figure? 4315. Yes, it is here. Can you see over here my cursor? 4315. You're right. And remaining is there. So ये 0 हो गया, ये 0 हो गया. This is your total overhead. This is your total overhead. But don't you have to do the total into cost per unit or per labor hour, machine hour? Yeah, that's what we do after. This question is just step down. Step down is basically this one we're going to put here. Step down. You can check it out. We've done it a bit earlier on this ratio. Abhi jo hai na, look, whatever they say, we do. Look at this. When you show the finance director how you reapportion the cost of the 2 service center, he said, did I say that we used the direct method? Well, I meant to say, this guy has changed it now, step down method. He said direct method before. He said, oh, I meant to say step down method. Step down method ka matlab hai bhai reapportionment karo or reapportionment, huh? That's why I was wondering why we're doing like that. This is more obvious. कि भाई इसका थोड़ा पैसा तो इधर भी जाना है, हाँ, क्योंकि he was using 5 portion of it. According to this, service center 2 took 5,000 hours of service center 1. So यहाँ का थोड़ा पैसा तो इसमें जाना चाहिए logically. So that is being happening here. Yeah, उसने अपना थोड़ा गलती माना है कि oh sorry, I was meant to say step down method. No worries, even if it is a step down method, how do you do? At the beginning I was trying to show you 9384 divided by 40,000 times by either you do 20, either you 15 or 5, you're gonna get for production 1, production 2 or service. I'm doing times by 5 to get service 2. 1173. Can you see it? This is this. And likewise, when you times by 15, you get this, times by 20, you get this. Makes sense. And this one, on this basis, it's going to come here. But you can argue a little bit of service 2 being enjoyed by service 1. Yes, you divide it accordingly. Whatever is the question comes up. It's just playing around this. Now, guys, look at this. A new question, though. Example of absorption, getting cost per unit. Getting cost per unit. Any volunteer to read the scenario for me? Who is our next volunteer? Who is our next volunteer to read the scenario? On. Unmute yourself, anyone, and go ahead reading this. Power tool company. Yeah, go ahead, Abira.
Power tool company needs to calculate the absorption rates for its assembly cost center and its finishing cost center.
Hold on, assembly, finishing, these are production, huh? Production. And they said calculate absorption rate, basically cost per labor or machine hour. Carry on, the assembly cost.
The assembly cost center is a largely machine based cost center, whereas finishing cost center is largely labor based.
Hold on, let's talk about this. ये जो भाई assembly है, हाँ, ये mostly machine based है, क्योंकि machine assembles the items, हाँ, machine ज़्यादा काम करते हैं इसके अंदर. जो finishing है, finishing ये labor based है, finishing touch देना, polish करना, finishing touch करना, ये labor based है. तो याद रखे, everybody remember, if it is machine based department, you use machine hours, MH, huh? Machine hour for overhead rate, OAR, overhead absorption rate, we're going to learn a little later. Machine based, machine intensive or more machine used. Let's assume department A and department B. Machine hour and labor hour. Department A use machine hour 10,000 hours. Department B use 2,000 hours. So, and department A labor hour, they use 5,000 hours. Department B use 13,000 hours. So clearly, department A is a labor intensive business and department B is a labor intensive business and department A is a machine intensive business, isn't it? हाँ, department A जो है इसमें machine hour ज़्यादा लग रहा है, हाँ, labor hour 5 तो machine 10. Whereas department B जो है उसमें labor hour ज़्यादा लग रहा है. So if department A is a machine intensive business, so we're going to use machine hour as a basis of overhead absorption rate for A and labor hour for department B. ये अगर कहे ना कहे, whether they tell us or do not tell us, no matter. Here they're telling you assembly is a machine intensive, finishing is a labor intensive. Carry on, the management.
The management of Power Tool Company have decided that assembly cost center overhead should be absorbed on the basis of machine hours and that the finishing cost center overhead should be absorbed on the basis of labor hours.
Let me tell you, even if they never told us, अगर ये ना भी बोलते ना, तो फिर भी assembly we would have done machine hour basis and finishing we would have done labor hour basis, isn't it? But they are clearly telling us कि भाई assembly जो है machine hour basis and finishing जो है वहाँ पे labor ज़्यादा काम करते labor hour basis. Carry on the machine hours.
The machine hours in the assembly cost center are 100,000, whereas the labor hours for the finishing cost center are 20,000.
Carry on.
The overheads for the assembly cost center are 1,45,000 75,876 and the overheads to finishing cost center are 75,624. What
Acha,
is the
let me
overhead
hold on.
absorption
Let me
rate?
tell you something. Yeah. Whenever we say 1 lakh, to be honest, that is only valid in Bangladesh, Pakistan, India. 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh. So, yeah, in the United Kingdom or internationally, like inshallah, I believe all of you are gonna go different mulks, different countries in the UK, Australia, Canada, Pakistan. No, different other countries. When you go there, we say 145 876 145 876 or 145, yeah, that 145 876. We never say lakh, huh? Lakh ये है ही नहीं इसमें इंग्लिश में ये होता ही नहीं 75,624 is still there, yeah, but lakh is not there, huh? How do we say then? 145 100 it is, though sometimes 145 100 and the other one is 1,000. Yeah, 100,000 we call it. 1 lakh matlab 100,000. 1 lakh matlab, if it is 1 lakh, huh? How would I say? 100,000, 100,000, 200,000. We never say 1 lakh. But of course, nothing wrong in saying it because many of our people are working in Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, bigger roles while doing ACCA. Huh? Many of my friends, there are top positions in Bangladesh. In Telenor in Pakistan, Bangladesh called Grameenphone. So the CFO, chief financial accountant, chief financial, not the CFO, chief financial accountant is Rakib, his ACCA. So yeah, 1 lakh is okay in Bangladesh, Pakistan, but here it is something like that. Like if you meant to say this, I would say 100,000, as I said. Hanji. So fair. Next one is, how do you get OAR, overhead absorption rate? Budgeted BUD, budgeted OH, which is money basically. Budgeted overhead divided by budgeted level of activity. I repeat, budgeted overhead divided by budget. Budget overhead kitna hai? This much budget overhead. Budget level of activity is this for the assembly department. These are all budgeted. I repeat, these are all budgeted. Bhai, ये management accounting है. Budget करते हैं. We do budgeting. हाँ जी. And for finishing, budget overhead is this divided by budget of level of activities. This is labor hour. Overhead, OAR, per machine hour and per labor hour, huh? Not per unit. Per machine hour. I repeat, per machine hour. Your total cost per OAR, overhead absorption rate. We do it. Then how do you get per unit? Maybe 1 unit takes 2 hours. If you multiply by 2, maybe 1 unit takes 1 hour. Multiply by 1. You're going to get per unit. Cost per unit, I repeat. Cost per unit. यही हमारा गोल है भाई कि भाई cost per unit क्या है इतने तक जो काम किया है. We've done so many work at the top, like especially this bit, yeah. We have allocated some costs. Allocations are there. Some apportionment. These are all apportion. After allocation and apportionment, this is my overhead. Ye jo over. Then reapportionment we done. We vanish this and this, putting it here, down there. This to become vanish. Can you see? Service cost become vanish, and this is my overhead. Now these overhead we are dividing by level of activity, either machine hour or labor hour to get OAR. Maybe this is by labor hour, this is by machine hour, and machine hour assembly is mostly machine hour, but they will tell us. So we're getting overhead absorption rate. वो per unit नहीं है. That is not per unit. The per unit is, they'll tell us how many hours are needed for producing 1 unit. Acha ji. That is my OAR, overhead absorption rate. So far, so good. We have a quick question. Next volunteer, please. Mabruk, you there? Can you do you have the microphone? If it is, can you say? Or maybe next class, tomorrow we have a class, you fix your microphone. Galib, are you at the home? You should have reached home. Mabruk says, I don't have microphone. You should please arrange the microphone for tomorrow's session, yeah? We're gonna go with Abira. Abira, can you please read over for us? Business has.
A business has two production cost centers, manufacturing and packaging. The overheads and the other details for these cost centers are as follow.
Acha,
Overhead
now hold on. Hanji. Can you tell me, manufacturing, you have given overhead, and packaging department maybe overhead diya hua hai. तो labor hour, machine hour diya hai. So which method are you going to follow for manufacturing? Is it labor hour or machine hour basis? Which basis are you going to follow for manufacturing department? Answer, everybody. Are you going to follow labor? Yes, 100%. Well done. Why did you say labor? Because you have more labor hour compared to machine hour, isn't it? It's a labor intensive business. So do you agree? Manufacturing is a labor intensive business. And how about in the packaging? It is also labor intensive. Is it? No, it's 60,000.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
68,000. This is also labor. Everything is labor intensive business. That's that then. But let's see, what did they say? Management have decided the overheads to be absorbed on the basis of labor hours in the manufacturing cost on the basis of their choice is something else. Normally that should be what, but their choice is something. Management have decided. It's management decision. We cannot do anything on that. Overheads to be absorbed on the basis of labor hours in the manufacturing. So this is labor hour, that is fine. The basis of machine hour in the packaging, it's almost similar like in the 60s. So they said not labor hour for packaging, we will follow machine hour. By you don't have any zor on the management, and this is nothing wrong. If they follow this, you cannot say this is wrong, but labor would have been more appropriate because it's a labor intensive business. More labor are using it here, but management decisions we follow. ठीक है जी. If they didn't tell us anything, we would have taken this. Am I understood? ठीक है जी, अबीरा पता लगा?
yes.
Hanji, if they didn't tell us, we would have taken 60,000 straight away. That is right answer. But they specifically telling us, we decided this should be labor hour, LH, this should be MH, machine hour. ठीक है भाई? Okay, bhai, you are boss, we listen to you. Now you know, what do you do then? This divided by that and this divided by 60,000, no? You're going to get your answer. They're saying answer B, but can we do it? Anji, 154,000 divided by 100,000, 1.4. So it could have been either this and that answer, not this. Can we see the B then? 89,000 divided by 60,000. 1.48. Yeah, B is the right answer, isn't it? Right. They've done it even here. Or absorption rate is then used to cost each product. Can you see? Cost each product, depending on how many relevant hours each product being using it. तो भाई ये हम लोग क्यों use करते हैं? Get cost per unit. To get cost per unit. Abira, can you please read over this example? Continuing.
Okay. Continuing the example from the above, one of the products of the power tool company is the power puff. This product has direct material cost of 14.30 per unit and direct labor cost of $16.50 per unit. Each unit of the power puff spends 6 machine hours in the assembly cost center and 3 labor hours in the finishing cost center. The absorption rates calculated above are as follow.
Acha, hold on. Now, direct material cost given by direct labor cost given per unit. These are given per unit. एक यूनिट बनाने के लिए भाई 14 पाउंड खर्चा होता है मटेरियल, और एक यूनिट बनाने के लिए लेबर खर्चा होता है 1650. तो फिर ये तो सीधा सीधा आ गया. But they said each unit of power for pump spends 6 hour machine hour. 6 machine hour. Huh? And एक यूनिट के लिए 6 घंटा चाहिए. So assembly, this is OAR to be honest. Overhead absorption rate is 1.46. You must multiply by 6 to get cost per unit. Overhead cost per unit. These are overhead, huh? और ये तो overhead नहीं है, direct material है, DM. And this is called DL, direct labor. And this is OH. These are OH. तो भाई when you multiply, can I do even multiply 1.46 times by 6? If I do 8.76 is my overhead for assembly and finishing. 3 ghanta they said, 3 hours for finishing. Yeah, labor hour. It's labor basis. They never said finishing. Yeah, when it's finishing, life is easy. Double check. Times by 3 if I do. So 3.78 times by 3. Overhead is 11.34. अच्छा, cost per unit क्या है भाई? What is the cost of one item? Labor given, material given. Assembly में cost कितना हो रहा है? Is it 1.46? No, 1.46 per hour. But to produce one unit, इसका कोई नाम नहीं दिया. They said power products of the power tool company is the power puff. हाँ, नाम है power puff. But if the cost is £50, what can be that? Maybe a tablet. Let's assume it's a tablet. Tablet means Android tablet जो होता है, हाँ? Or iPad, like that. Tablet. Tab or tab is the better word. Tablet, you can say, Bangladesh में वो जो दवाई लेते हैं, that is called tablet. So this is a tab. तो आपने material used labor, used some indirect expenses. वो assembly department का indirect expenses है 8 point this, and finishing department का indirect expenses. Total cost of one tab is 50.90. Does it make sense? समझ में आ रहा है क्या यहाँ? ये हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? टैबलेट बना रहे, टैब बना रहे. तो मटेरियल कॉस्ट, you put a screen and these and that. So that is £14. Labor costs, people are working. Yeah, that could be something else, not even a tablet. Maybe what? Handcraft wood material could be, huh? Because labor is very high here, £16 labor per unit. That means labor heavily involved. Indirect costs are there as well. So that is that. भाई मेरा cost per unit of one item ऐसे मिलता है. Is it finishing overhead? Is it this cost per unit? No, this is cost per labor hour. Huh? And in one, to produce one unit, you need 3 labor hours. So one unit cost is 11.34. Total is 50.90 is your cost. That is your goal. That is your goal to do. Anji. तो फिर this is another easy question. Homework. Can you write homework? कल मैं चेक करूंगा ये सब homework. You have to do a lot of homework. Come on, answers are given, but you please do of your own. The basis of absorption given: machine hour basis, labor hour basis, and unit basis. These are the 3 bases. Rest is same thing, yeah? Labor hour, material, but 3 bases: 1, 2, 3. Machine hour basis, labor hour basis, and number 3 is unit basis. Hanji. Mostly unit basis doesn't use anymore. Labor hour and machine hour basis are used in real life. Hanji. We have 10-13 minutes. Let's see how far we can go. The arbitrary nature of absorption costing. There are some problem. Arbitrary matlab ke the conflicting nature of absorption costing. I'll come back in a minute. Predetermined over absorption rate. Over absorption rate are basically predetermined. Predetermined का मतलब क्या है? Budgeted, हाँ? Budgeted OH I said, मतलब के money. Budgeted overhead divided by budgeted level of activity. Level of activity में 2 चीज हो सकता है. एक either machine hour or labor hour could be. हाँ जी? So you get OAR. And that is a problem. Yeah, your budget may be misleading. Labor hour and machine hour sometimes not good. You have another option. आप लोगों ने नाम सुना होगा ABC, activity based costing. That is more accurate. Labor hour, machine hour basis is arbitrary. This is the arbitrary basically. Yeah, labor intensive, machine intensive. You can make notes on it. Predetermined, basically direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, and production overhead is budgeted. Huh? So yeah. Whatever I said, they're saying here, estimated overhead, estimated level of activity. I repeat, whatever I said, they're saying here is total budgeted overhead divided by budgeted machine hour or budgeted labor hour, which we said. Please write these things, whatever I say. Budgeted OH divided by budgeted level of activity. Yeah, लिख ले भाई लोग. तो and how does it work? Here it works like this. Budgeted overhead given 50,000. Budgeted labor hour given 100,000. So 50 divided by 100, my OAR is 50 cents. This is this. Yeah. So absorb the overs into the cost per unit. If there are 2, Jersey or Guernsey, these are 2 products they're saying, yeah. Absorb the overs in the cost unit by applying 2 products. But Jersey and Guernsey are basically 2 places in the United Kingdom. These are very remote places, by the way. Chalo ji. So if Jersey takes 2 hours, 50, your OAR, over absorption rate is 50 cents per unit. times by 2, 1 pound, and times by 5, 250. The more hour it costs, it takes, the more overhead you should take. SSA. So another one, budget overhead is from this, and if production overhead and total expected, yeah, budgeted overhead is this, and planned means budgeted. To remember, planned means budgeted. Budgeted level of activity is this as well, labor hours. So क्या हुआ 108 divided by 90,000. Your OAR, over absorption rate, we call it budgeted, 1.2. 1.2, costing 5 per hour and blah blah, and machine hour basis, budgeted divided by budget. They're doing over and again. Please do these things at your own time. Predetermined by budgeted rates. We will be concluding with over under absorption rate. I should have a quick video on it. I must give it to you. I'm not fully sure. Over absorption rate. Let's see it. I'd like to go. The relevant, you must watch the relevant one. Over under absorption. If I give you some videos, please spend time and watch it. I'm going to go at the bottom, you know, the allocation, apportionment, reapportionment. Do watch it, do watch it. And now I'm going to give you OAR related video. I'm checking it slowly, somewhere here. Over absorption rate, over under absorption. Just letting you know, over absorption is a good news for business. Under absorption is a bad news for business, is an expense. Yeah, over absorption, like, is good, you spend less money. Under absorption is bad. Oh, this is member only, man. If I find the non-member only from KBM channel, I will try to give you, because some videos I'm uploading on KBM channel as well. And okay, whatever is there so far, because yeah, I can see over under absorptions are there, but I don't have enough time to go over this. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll go over this over under absorption. Just generally, overhead incurred ka matlab hai actual, it has happened. And absorbed matlab ki how much you budgeted. You thought it should cost you 90,000, but indeed it cost you 84. Is good, isn't he? Good by 6,000. That means absorbed is over. This is called over absorbed. And over absorbed, you are happy. Happy, smiley. Yeah, you budgeted 90,000 cost, incurred 84,000. It's over absorbed, you're happy, right? In the income statement, this is an income. Income into the income statement, written off as credit. Yeah, profit and loss statement. And under absorption is bad. Yeah, like you are sad. You thought it should cost you 90,000. This is called absorbed. Incurred means in actual 92,000. So 2,000 over. Bad. You are sad. You're crying. A bit of basis of absorption given. And the chapter is finished. Okay. 5-6 minutes left over, but I'll not carry on. You should do some work. This over under absorption, this topic, we will go over tomorrow, and a new chapter as well. Over and under absorption, predetermined. These are the things. Is that okay, guys? Please watch the videos which I send you. This one. If I find one from over under absorption from KBM training channel, YouTube channel, can I see it here? Stay tuned with me. We're not yet. Tata, goodbye. Can I see maybe one of my videos I uploaded here? Some videos are uploaded here as well. ACCA. No, I'll upload one here then. Yeah, this over under absorption. Yes, all this for maths, but highly needed for ACC as well. Over under absorption, exactly. I'm sending you. Can you please confirm me you're gonna watch this one as well? Abira, yeah, you're gonna watch it. Mabruk, can you copy this one? Yeah, thank you. Right, thank you very much. That's all I would say. Can I come over the camera here? Very blackish camera. That's all for today. Your questions are welcome. Last 5-10 minutes to keep for the questions. If no questions, you can say thank you, sir, and goodbye for today. Of course, questions are welcome. We are on to the difficult parts now, challenging parts now, and more time we need to spend today. एग्जाम किट जो है भाई वो करते रहो. एग्जाम किट कोई क्वेश्चन है मुझे पूछते रहे. हाँ जी, क्वेश्चन में एग्जाम किट. Let's say it's a goodbye for today then.